Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close on this Friday. I love Fridays. This, of course, I like to think of this one as your gateway to the weekend as we move into, well, a little bit of time away from the market. But we got ourselves a red day today. So what can I say? What can I say? A whole bunch of stuff going on. Obviously, we kind of got to see a little bit of it yesterday. We got to see the fall of Broadcom, and there's some AI related concerns going around that some of that did spill over into the Canadian market for sure. But we're going to get into all of that, get into your questions. We're going to talk a little bit about some high-speed rail as well today. So lots on the agenda for sure, and we are in the Financial Express. So normally we have a market close on Wednesdays, but this month you have the opportunity to have a market close every day the market is open. The way it works is each show we can, with either 4 supers, 4 gifted subs, combination, whatever, it can basically open up the next show. So for today, if we want to open up Monday, we can do it. So we're working towards Monday today, and I probably should turn the Nightbot on here. And there we go. Nightbot is on. Nightbot is on. Perfect. Let's take a gander here at the market. Let me just pull this up. Here we are. So here is our TSX today. So we are down 0.46%. Now, we did have a little bit of a rally earlier today. You can sort of see it here. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. We backtracked. So we are definitely down. It's kind of, to be honest, the Canadian market is kind of interesting. Like, we are seeing kind of a mixed bag of stuff right now in the market. We're seeing a little bit of strength in our mining and materials. We're seeing, oh boy, I don't know if I want to say this, but we're seeing cannabis seems to be going high. So we have a little bit of strength in the cannabis sector, believe it or not, believe it or not. And basically, that's all about Donald Trump. He reclassified marijuana. So basically, making it a little bit less of a naughty thing in the States. And that's kind of got people thinking, oh, could we finally see some movement to the upside with those weed stocks? I still think they're as risky as all heck, but we have seen a little bit of that. We've also seen a slight resilience in the energy sector, which has been good. But the big down driver, I guess, for us, of course, is that tech pullover. So tech pullback with that spillover coming from the U.S., that's definitely impacting us big time. But I think overall it's actually not that bad of a day. Normally, if we have a red day, there's a lot more negative going on, and there's actually a lot of positive going on today. So it's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. All right, looking south of the border, well, they're getting hit a little bit harder. So the S&P 500 is down a full 1.09%. Oh boy. So obviously, a lot of this is all revolving around AI spending and profitability concerns. So there's more jitters. There's more jitters out there amongst investors all over AI build out. The build out cost, basically setting up AI, building the data centers. It's a lot of money. And I will say, one of the things that we got from Broadcom is they kind of gave a bit of a warning. They were talking a lot about some of the margin pressure from lower margin custom AI processors, all of that fun stuff. But in a nutshell, I still think AI is going to pay dividends. I think that this is all going to bounce on back. But right now we got another round of nervous investors, and well, that has basically caused a little bit of a sharp sell-off in anything AI linked. AI linked stocks, Broadcom at one point, I mean, they were down 11 to 12%. So, and we'll look at that a little more when we get to the heat map as well. That's kind of the big one for the U.S. All right, and oh boy, let's just go to the NASDAQ. They're down. As I said, most of the sell-off has been in tech. So we're seeing that tech carousel coming around, people taking some profits, getting out of Dodge. They'll all be back, don't worry. So we got a sell-off in tech. It's down 2.06%. Dow Jones also down 0.53, and those small caps at the Russell, they are down 1.63% as well. So what can I say? We are seeing a little bit of strength in gold, as I kind of mentioned earlier. Silver, not so much. Silver's down 2.84%, and copper also down 2.37. Oil had some strength earlier in the day. That's kind of that resilience I was talking about, but they have since moved back. A little bit of strength in this last candle as well. Crypto having not a great day. Bitcoin down, 2.46. Ethereum down 4.76. All right. Let's pull up a heat map, and let's get rid of our sidebar. As you can see, good amount of red here in the charts, and Celestica. Oh boy. Celestica is down 12.79% today. That is just yikes. That's a big move to the downside. And I'll tell you guys, I was looking at Celestica earlier for a completely different reason. You'll know soon enough. Why. But yeah, that's a big down. That's a big down for sure. Now, mind you, they are up big time on the year. So, that down is not as bad as it looks. That's for sure. And I think they're all going to bounce back. I think this will blow over, just kind of as everything else tends to blow over. If you're looking for doom and gloom, guys, you're at the wrong channel. I'll tell you that right now, because I don't feel it. I don't feel the sky falling. That's for sure. All right, taking a look south of the border, and here's where we're going to see some deep reds. Here we are. We got Microsoft down 1.22, Google 1.24, Nvidia 3.38, Broadcom still sitting pretty low at negative 11.88. Meta's down 1.33. So yeah, definitely. And Netflix is actually up though. If you're looking for the silver in the haystack, it's Netflix. They're up a tiny bit, not much, 0.96. But we are getting a bit of red right across the board in the U.S. You can see even companies, even Caterpillar's down today. So what can I say? And looking at crypto, oh boy, yeah, we got a lot of red. We have a lot of red. All right, I'm gonna, as tradition here, their thing is still not working. So it's not me. I tested it. It's them. But I still like to pick an altcoin, and typically I will pick one the opposite color what the market is doing. So we're going to look at a green coin today. This one right here, what is this? Can I get any closer to it? No, I can't. I can't pull it up to show you the chart, but what I can tell you is it's called what is that? And it's not even like, it's not even FOUR, it's just FOR, for. So what is this one for? I don't know. I really don't know. You got to be careful, guys, when you are playing around with some of these altcoins. There's more than 15,000 of these little guys. And I call them crap coins because quite literally, they're kind of like going to the casino, playing a game of craps. You throw the dice and, well, you know how it goes. You don't win. The house typically wins all of the time. So this here is for not the best coin if you're looking to make some money. If you want to make money, stick to your reliable big coins. Maybe not today, but stick to your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, Solana, and heck, even the Dogecoin. Actually, XRP is not down that bad today, 0.91. So these might be some better opportunities to jump in on some of these coins for sure. All right. Back to the big screen, and guys, we've been doing the bell thing this week. So I'm trying to hit the bell on time. And so far, I'm 3 for 4. I'm 3 for 4. Can I go 4 for 5? That's a pretty good batting average if I do. So the bell is here. We got 4 minutes. And but this is where I get distracted. When I hit the chat, I get distracted. What can I say? Up first, we got Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. Claude says, hello, holy Celestica bread. What the? Yeah, Celestica definitely on a bit of a downer for sure. Actually, let's pull Celestica up. Whoa. All right, here, close down. There we go. I'm going to pull Celestica up here. See if we get any interesting news for them. Here we go. Celestica. Here we go. Let's pull up Celestica. Here we go. Yeah, here. Look at this. That is a, whoa. There we go. Celestica. Here's your red candle. I did the two things I always forget: to do the bell on time and to pull up the screen. So far we've messed up on the screen once today, but we're still going to get that bell. But yeah, look at this. This is quite the drop, for sure. I'm just going to click on this on the little news thing here. Let's see. Can Flex offset automotive headwinds in its reliability segment? Which EMS stock is a better investment? TSX falls as investors brace for central bank decisions. So yeah, there's really nothing in here that's standing out to me as being a driver for Celestica. It could just be a correction. And when we look, I'm going to come back here. Let's look at them on a long scale. So this here is, I'm going to go to let's look at the 1 year. When you look at the 1 year and you look at this little fall today, it's really not that relevant. It really isn't. Obviously, if you're holding that stock, if you got in somewhere's up towards the top here and that fall, yeah, that probably feels pretty bad. But for the most part, look at this. Look at this move, and I will tell you guys. All right, I'll tell you now. I'm just double checking the time. We've got a minute and a half. Every year, I make predictions. So I made one of my prediction videos, and there's a bunch of different ones that I did last January. Was what are the 5 stocks to watch this year? So, and I will tell you right now. I'm not going to tell you where they came in on that list. But I'll tell you, well, if you watched it, you already know. Celestica was on that list. And I was looking at this and I'm like, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. So yeah, I actually will review this in a video. So that's why I don't want to talk too much about it, because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, we're going to start reviewing some of these videos, some of these prediction videos. They're going to, the reviews will sprinkle between now and the end of the year. So that one should be, that one's coming up sooner than later for sure. It might even be out this coming week. So we'll have a gander at that. And guys, we got 28 seconds to the bell. If I'm this cognizant of the seconds, I'm not going to miss it. But for a second, I thought I had, so I will admit that. But so yeah, that is going to be one of those things. I think I also did a similar one for ETFs. I'll have a look at that. I haven't looked at that one yet. I can't even remember who I predicted in the ETF video. We also have the big one where I made predictions on the year, and here we go. The market is closed. Welcome to the weekend. I love it. Yeah, so I also made predictions, just general predictions as well. Those ones, the big prediction video, we'll review that closer to New Year's for sure. So what can I say? All right, I'm 4 for 5. I'm 4 for 5 this week. This is fantastic. All right, let's see here. Brian, where are you? Oh, here we are. A funny thing. So in front of me is the screen for StreamYard. So I'm seeing I'm seeing the screen there. And I also got my test one so I can see what it actually looks after it goes out over the internet. but I was looking for my mouse, and it was on the other screen. And because the other screen, I'm sharing it on the main screen, there was a mouse on in front of me, and I thought that was the mouse for a second. So anyway, you probably don't even need to know that. Brian says private credit issues in the U.S. First Brands was just the beginning. 27% of AI data centers are financed with private credit, partially because of big bank liquidity issues. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there, but I will tell you, I have a lot of faith in AI. I have a lot of faith in technology right now, so I'm not really concerned. And I know a lot of investors are. A lot of investors are, and that's, it's a recipe for red soup for sure. Brian says money printing soon to start to add liquidity into the banks. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, Trump has been talking about paying out those dividends. And here's the thing. Trump throws some really big numbers, like saying the tariffs are bringing in so much money that we'll be able to get rid of income tax. Well, I don't think the tariffs are bringing in that much money. I mean, yeah, they're bringing in money. And actually, I was watching, I think it was Mark Roper. I think that's who it was. Anyway, he had ordered a cat from Canada, and he showed the receipt and everything for the hat, and the tariffs were actually more than the price of the hat. I was just like, it was crazy. I was like, wow. But nonetheless, I still don't think, I still think that Trump is kind of overjudging how much money these tariffs are bringing in. Oh, that's me. Brian says RRSP account is down 0.5% due to my NASDAQ holdings. Yeah. When the NASDAQ has a day like today, a lot of people are going to feel it. And a lot of the bigger ETFs, like HHIS will feel it for sure. HYLD will feel it. Zeniel says, worst day ever since Liberation Day over down south. Liberation Day was... And it's funny when you look at Liberation Day, and let's take a gander here. I want to show you something. We're just going to go to VFV, because this is a pretty good view of the overall tracking of the S&P 500. And we'll go to 5 years. Actually, we're going to go to 10 years now. So look at this. This is COVID right here. This little jag in here. This jag, which, it kind of looks... It's hard to say, but it kind of looks big. I'd have to actually do the math. I probably should do the math. I'm wondering what that drop is compared to that drop. It looks to me visually like it might be a little bit bigger, but obviously we got to test the numbers on that. But yeah, that's Liberation Day for you. And if you look up here and see that little bit today, it's nothing compared to Liberation Day. But it may be the biggest little notch that we've had since Liberation Day, for sure. Cowboy is in the house with the greetings all. We got a good afternoon from Paul. Brian says, ICE now in Minnesota making Somalian arrests. ICE, boy. Let's see. Hoping a plus 2% close on Tesla. Well, maybe. Let's see. Mario says, good afternoon, everyone. Max is in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. That's good to see you, Max. I don't think I've seen you in a little bit. Brian says, Toronto's LRT Line 6 is slower than the buses. Oh, speaking of LRTs. So the government today announced, so as you know, they're building this big, it's a huge project. But it's Canada's first high-speed rail. And it's going to go from, I believe, Quebec City to Toronto. That's going to be the end result. Well, they've actually have settled on the first line that they're doing, and it's going to be between Ottawa and Montreal. Now, why? Why Ottawa and Montreal? One reason is that it's relatively straight. They can make a pretty straight line between the two cities. That makes it a little bit easier. So it gets it a little bit easier to get it off the ground. Now, they did say that they will be they should begin construction in 2029. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute, that's a little ways off. That's a good three to 4 years, depending on what part of 2029 they break ground. But that's kind of typical. They need to basically make sure they know exactly where it's running, make sure they have all the clearances, all of the permissions, all of that stuff. So now they did say if in 2028 they've got all of their ducks in a row, they could even break earlier. But nonetheless, it's going to be very interesting. So what they said, now speed-wise, they're saying that this train's going to travel at about 300 kilometers an hour. So that's pretty good. And in addition to that, they said you'll be able to go from Montreal to Ottawa in a less amount of time than it would take to drive from the outskirts of Montreal to downtown Montreal. So I'll see it when I believe it, of course. I'll believe it when I see it. But I like that idea. Like I think it'd be fantastic if I could just jump on a train here and be in Montreal in 30 minutes. Holy banana bread! That I'd have to go visit JJ, I guess. That would be fun. All right. Karachakon says, "Hi, Candace. Well, hello. How are you?" Brian says, let's see, 11 years in the making and it's slower. Let's see, Red Sea, y'all. I went holiday shopping, last one for the year. Red Sea, right, the market. The market, Dorpat, the market. When you said Red Sea, I was thinking about the Red Sea over there in... is the Red Sea technically, I'll just say Eurasia. I'll say Eurasia because I know it's either Asia or Europe, or it's maybe straddling both. I think, yeah, we'll say Eurasia, but that's what I thought about. That's funny. Brian says, I'm not touching the pot stocks again. Good move. Good move. I rode them down the last time. Oversupply is not going to get any better. Yeah, I would be... So with this whole news that, the reclassification of marijuana in the United States, I just take it with a grain of salt. That's the way I look at it. Take it with a grain of salt. Everybody got so excited and so hyped when Canada legalized marijuana, and they were expecting those stocks to go to the moon. They were, we were expecting a pretty high chart, pun intended, and it never happened. It really never happened. A lot of people lost money on weed, and history sometimes repeats itself. So I would be really, really careful. I'm not telling you not to, but I'm just telling you, be careful. This has bitten people in the butt before. It could do it again. Weird. QQQ down -2%, but Tesla up 2.5%. Oh, Tesla's been on a tear lately. Tesla's been on a tear. I've been looking to get back into another swing on Tesla, and they just won't come down. They won't come down into my range. So, yeah. Cowboy bought HHIC and FTN today. Nice. Nice. Of course, I love HHIC, and FTN's not bad too. A good split core. Rory says, afternoon, U.S. natural gas futures looking bearish until Christmas. Okay. That could be interesting. Now, keep in mind, and I always say this, futures is usually right, but not always. Not always. I would, if I had to peg it percentage-wise, I'd say 60-40. So you never know. But yeah, I mean, I would still be a little careful with it. Elaine is in the house with a hi all. Tesla is the cash account thus fall compared to tech and Bitcoin. All right. Amarit says, I feel like gold is pretty high. You think it's got more growth to do, or do you think we are pretty near the top? I was debating on grabbing it on Wealthsimple. All right. Gold, are we at the top? No, definitely not. Gold's going to continue to go up, but here's the caveat. Here's my caveat on this. If you look at gold, if you look at what gold's done in the last year, you're not going to get that amount of growth in the next year. You will get growth, but it will be, the slope is going to start coming down a little bit on gold. I think it'll still go up. I think you'll still make money, but you won't make as much money as you would have made if you were investing in gold at the beginning of 2025. And that will go as well for all of the gold companies, like all of your miners, even for London Gold. You're not going to get some of the crazy amounts that you saw in 2025. All right. And Mark is in the house, says Broadcom tanked big time. So affected these ETF holdings, HHIS, HYLD, QQC, XQQ. Yeah, I mean, tech overall today, I mean, the NASDAQ down, down a good 2%. That is going to impact a lot of these heavy, tech-heavy ETFs. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And sometimes you have to sort of look at it from an opportunity mindset. So a lot of times when some of these go down, maybe you had some more money that you wanted to put into something like HHIS. Well, if it's down 8% or whatever, I don't know what it's down. I'm just going by Mark's numbers right now. If it goes down 8%, holy banana bread, that's not a bad entry point. So you actually, for your dollar, you end up getting a higher yield as well. So that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. But mind you, obviously you need to have conviction in an HHIS. If you have no conviction in it, then I probably wouldn't do it. All right, Michelle says, when will it end? Red is my least favorite color. Well, here's the thing. I mean, right now we've got a whole, yes, we got the whole AI thing, we got the whole tech thing causing a more red than normal. But in addition to that, we are still in tax loss harvesting season. So typically there is a good chance that we will see a good amount of red between now and Christmas. So after Christmas, if we get that Santa Claus rally, then you'll see some green at that point. But keep in mind though, the fortunes are made in bear markets. And why? Because, well, you're getting your assets at a discount. So when you're buying assets at an all-time high, there's only a limited amount you can get. Yes, sure, they continue to make all-time highs. They always do. But, well, here, look at the chart we have right here, and I want to give you an example. So if you bought right here at the top, just before we went into the pandemic, if you bought in here at like 70, we'll say $79. All right, well, that's great. Now it's worth 167. So, that's pretty good. But if you had bought in this, well, this was technically a tiny, well, it wasn't really a bear market, but it was technically a recession. They do call that a recession, that tiny little COVID thing. But you could have got it for $20 less. So if you think about it from that perspective, that's $20. That's like right now, if you bought it at 167 and all of a sudden it went up to 187, you'd be over the moon. So that's why sometimes red is good. Red can be good. And that's, there's nothing wrong with a bear market. A bear market is a normal part of the economic cycle. Things can't go up in a straight line. You do have to have those contractions. It's healthy for the market. It's healthy for companies. And it's also healthy for us, because like I said, if you're buying, like imagine all of the things down here in this, or even on Liberation Day, let's just get a little bit closer. A lot of the stuff people bought here, I mean, oh, look at this. Well, I mean, if you look at it from this perspective, so 130, if you bought on Liberation Day, if you bought the day before, it was 155. So that's a huge, that's a huge amount. So technically from 155 to now, that's 155 to 167. So that's what, $11. Whereas if you did buy in the red on this day at 131, well, that's like $36. So don't be afraid of the wed. I'm turning into Porky Pig. What? Or no, that's not. Is that Porky Pig or is that the hunter guy? I don't know who I'm turning into. But yeah, so don't be afraid of red. Red's not a bad thing. Scott says, good afternoon, all. Paul, if you are into crypto, Blocks is on sale today at minus 6.3%. Ex-dividend day today. Oh, that's even nice. And, Vic, welcome. We got Vic in the house today. Made it to a Friday stream. Yay. What happened to Dolly today? No action whatsoever. I know. And that was, so just to sort of pull this out. So Dolly, guys, that there is the Purpose Dollarama. So I over on my swing account, I thought I might try something because, well, first of all, let me show you my reasoning. I'm going to go back to the reasoning on this one. So here's Dollarama. They had a good earnings. So here's their earnings. They exceeded expectations on earnings. They exceeded expectations on revenue. So it looked pretty good. But, and you know, investors initially went crazy. So it had a huge spike, but then it went down. Now they have pretty solid fundamentals. So here's my thoughts. My thoughts is that this was going to happen, which is what is happening. You can see these green lines. You can see all of these candles here. I was expecting that. So I thought, okay, well, I want to make a play, but I don't want to do it with Dollarama. It's like $202. I would have to commit a lot of capital to make a significant play on Dollarama. So I was basically thinking, what do we have? What do we have that I could use? Well, the Purpose Dollarama ETF. So Dolly. So I was thinking, okay, let's use Dolly, see if we can ride it up just a little bit. Well, I did that, and let me show you. Dolly, actually, I should be able to add them here. Let's see, DOLY. Yeah, here we are. So I was hoping Dolly would at least move along, but instead, Dolly's still stuck around in here. It hasn't really moved. I think right now my trade, I'm down about $20. But I'm gonna let it roll. I'm gonna let it roll. See if it can finally get caught up to Dollarama, because that's kind of odd. Now, one of the things with going with something like Dolly for this trade is, yeah, if there was a big explosion, I was going to lose some upside potential on that, and I was okay with that. I was absolutely okay with that. But so far, yeah, Dolly it really hasn't done anything since I jumped in. And sometimes that's the life of swing trading, right? Sometimes you're going to jump into something, all logic says it should move, and it just doesn't. That happens, and that's when you kind of have to have an exit strategy. I will probably not stay in Dolly beyond Monday. So Monday will be get out of Dolly day. So what can I say? Yeah, get out of Dollywood. Or we could say get out of Dollywood. There we go. Yeah, all things, we're leaving Dolly on Monday. So yeah, that's what happened to Dolly. Nothing. I mean, and getting out at a $20 loss is nothing. So I'm okay with that. But I'm hoping to get a little bit of green, and quite literally, the second it goes in the green, I got a stop loss put in, and we'll see what happens on Monday with Dolly. Of course, if you're a channel member, you'll find out what happened. Or if somebody brings it up in here, I'll probably talk about it anyway. All right, Kelly says, it's Friday and CNR is not red on my portfolio. Air Canada still stagnant. It is, absolutely. But Tito's and Candace Friday afternoon learning journey makes me smile. Nice, yeah. That's what I like. I like that as well. Yeah, no, it's pretty. Actually, we haven't looked at CNR today. Actually, let's go over to our heat map, and yeah, so CNR today, they're down. They are down, not a lot. They're down 0.14%. So. And CP is only down 0.18, so they're holding steady today. I like it for sure. Cowboy calls it a bargains day. Yup, yeah, that's what it is. Claude, I'm still waiting for my shares of Celestica paid at $4.05 to sell them. If the price drops further Monday, I'll buy more. Ah, interesting. But I will, and going back to that video, a year ago, I was telling people, watch Celestica this year. I don't know if any of you did. If any of you watched that video, and I know I say do your due diligence, but if any of you did your due diligence and bought into Celestica when I brought it up, let me know. I'd be kind of curious. I'd be kind of curious to know if anyone rode that train to the top. All right. Oh, there's the Nightbot. So yeah, guys, if you want a Monday stream, and so far so far in this in the financial express, we've hit every single stop. So we've had we've had a lot of streams. We've had a lot of streams. It's pretty cool. But this train can keep on running. You know, let's keep the track. Let's keep it on track. JEQ JE. I wanted to say JEQT. That's where I was going for a second. JE. Let's see. I was hoping to get into EQCC by Global X, but volume is very low, and so as management fees. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You got to look when you're looking at volume. So volume to me is an interesting. It's an interesting statistic. When I look at volume, I have to take a few things into consideration. Is it a new ETF? If it is, its volume is going to be lower because, well, you know, people have to discover it. You know, it takes a while to build up a volume. So newer ETFs are going to have lower volumes. Okay, not all of them. Sometimes ones get really popular really fast. Biggie, I think, picked up really fast. But that's one thing that will have a lower volume. Another thing is it a niche? Is it a niche ETF? So, for example, when we look at EBNK, well, how many Canadians are thinking about, today I feel like investing in the European banks? You don't get a lot. You don't get a lot. So for that reason, it becomes more of a niche. It's more of a niche destination for folks, and that makes it, you know, that makes less people investing in it. Even though eBank has been doing absolutely crazy. eBank has been blowing up this year. So those are a few things that can create lower volumes. And in cases like, you know, in cases like those, I'm not too worried. Now, why should you be concerned about a lower volume? So obviously, if it's a sound ETF and you're planning to hold it for a long time, volume shouldn't be a super huge consideration. It really shouldn't. Where volume comes into consideration is if you're a swing trader, a day trader, definitely a day trader. You want to be able to sell quickly. You want to be able to move your stocks fast. That's an area where volume does come into play. So if you get into a lower volume, you may not be able to you may not be able to move the stocks that you're trying to sell, especially if you're trying to flip a profit really quickly. So volume becomes huge. Also, a lower volume tends to often impact the overall volatility as well. So that's kind of where that sort of pulls in. So I give credence. Like I pay attention to volume a lot, but I always like to keep it into context. All right. Hey Candace, which do you prefer, HYLD or USCL? HYLD. I do like USCL, but HYLD is just I really like HYLD. It's interesting. So when HYLD first launched, they were holding a whole bunch of US ETFs because Hamilton didn't have the ETFs they needed. And as a result, they didn't have a lot of control. And when some of those US ETFs absolutely struggled during, when the rate hikes, when all the aggressive rate hiking was going on, that's when they ended up cutting those dividends because, you know, it just wasn't working. Now they've completely reinvented themselves. They brought in, Hamilton basically created all of their own ETFs to cover everything that HYLD needs. So now they have full control as a company. That has made them a lot better. It has made them much more agile when it comes to the overall market. And then recently, they've reinvented themselves again by getting rid of some of their bond options and their fixed income, and bringing in a few of the 0 day to expire ETFs. So those are the day max lines. So yeah, I really like it. Now I do like USCL, and I got nothing against USCL at all. But you want to know, if I can only choose one out of the two, I would go with HYLD personally. Now you may choose differently, and there's nothing wrong if any of you think, oh well, I would rather USCL. That's perfectly fine as well. All right. Paul says Tesla had a $458.96 plus 2.7% close, highest close since beginning of November. Nice. That's fantastic. All right, and I got to quickly jump ahead here, guys. I got to quickly jump ahead because we got a super sticker coming in from the wonderful Mary, who is our official captain of the like button. And we don't even need a goat video for Mary because Mary's always the greatest of all time. But, you know, we're still going to drop the goat anyway. And that means, guys, we're three supers or 3 gifted memberships away from a Monday close, So that would be fantastic. It'd be a great way to start the week for sure. All right, and thank you very much, Mary. Always appreciate Mary. Cowboy says money printing is one of the major causes of inflation. Absolutely. We need to be producing material like oil, gas, etc., not producing worthless money. Yeah, we definitely need to, yeah, if we're producing the materials, you know, get the economy going, get the infrastructure in place, absolutely, you are looking at that's much better than printing money. Because, yeah, printing money basically, you know, it's not like, I always look at it this way. If you look at a hammer is going to cost a certain percentage of the overall money supply. You know, it's not a big percentage because hammers aren't that expensive. And it's probably like a tiny, 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 tiny percentage. But nonetheless, if you look at the math, if you increase the money supply by printing money, well, that hammer it's still worth a certain percentage of the money supply. And if you increase the money supply, well, that percentage kind of has to increase to compensate for that. So all of a sudden, that hammer, instead of being, and gosh, guys, I have no clue how much a hammer costs, but let's just say it's a cheapo hammer at $5.79. Well, it's no longer $5.79. It's now $6.49. Yeah, that's how, I mean, it's how the economy works. You add more money, it doesn't, you know, it's not, there's no such thing as free money. It just means that everybody has less money. All right. And once again, yeah, Mary is in the house with a hello. Oh, I didn't get my coffee last time. So this time, Mary, to you. Oh, that's so good. Scott says, I swear I hit the like button. All right. Now, I just noticed as well, we got a gifted sub coming in from the wonderful Brian. And Brian is joining Mary in the corral as our second goat of the stream. Fantastic. At least Mary's got some company in there. All right. Now, let's see here. Where were we? That's always the fun part, is finding where I was. Once I've got this all set up on OBS, I have a feeling I might be able to do it a little bit easier. All right, I know where I was. All right, here we go. Scott says, I swear I hit the like button. Awesome. What do you think about TQQQ 3x leverage NASDAQ? So TQQQ, it's a beta pro fund that uses 3x leverage. So if you buy 10 of them, they're gonna basically be, it's gonna be like you've bought 30. So you'll be getting that type of movement on it. But keep in mind, that is up or down. The other thing is this leverage resets daily. So you really want to be careful with these. Like, these are not funds to hold any amount of time. So they're not designed for investors. They're designed for traders. They're designed for short-term traders. More specifically, these are vehicles for day trading. I would say, how many people here? 63? 65. Okay. Of the 65 of you, I would say maybe two. Maybe two these might be appropriate for. Or three, I could be wrong. But for the most of you, these are just absolutely dangerous. Stay away from them. Don't touch them. You know, unless, you know, if you are going to touch them, make sure that, one, you got a plan. You got an entry plan, an exit plan. Two, make sure it's money that you are prepared to lose, because if you mess up with something like this, you can lose money fast. You know, that's just the truth of it. So be careful with these. Be careful with these. All right. Brian says markets are down because of my dividend on QDTE. 33 shares paid me $6.66 today. Ooh, boy. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting. It's actually funny. Now that you mentioned $6.66. So I used to like to go to the Burger King, and it was not that far from me. I used to go there on the way to work, and my favorite thing is I used to always pick up the chicken sandwich combo with heavy cheese. That's what I normally had. And all of a sudden, one day after a price change, I did it, and it came out to $6.66. And then every day I came in, every time I mean, I wasn't going to change my order just because it was $6.66, but I always got a weird look from the girl behind the counter every time it came up to $6.66. Like, it was like she didn't even want to say the cost. I mean, I thought about maybe just adding an apple pie or something just to knock it off, but nah, I didn't. All right, Paul says, Tesla closed on November 21st, $391.95, and closed today at $459.17 plus 68.12 plus 17.4%. Yeah, no, Tesla's really been having a pretty strong, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's a correlation, but who hasn't been very much in the news lately? Who has been not in the news lately? We all know Elon. So it seems to me like Tesla does really well when Elon just sort of keeps himself out of the news. So keep doing what you're doing right now, Elon. It's working. Rory says money bags, pointing at Brian. Brian says, sorry, oh, I didn't even look to see who won. Oh, so Brian gifted a sub to another Brian. So Brian Weldon won the membership, the gift. That's fantastic. It's not a sub. It's a community membership. That's funny. That's actually really funny that Brian gifted to another Brian. What are the odds of that happening? All right, Larry. Oh, hey, welcome to the stream, Larry. Larry's in the house. Since I'm holding two names for the next year, I decided to take a side quest. I'm now lead process tech at Samsung in the machine cleaning division. Sadly, they don't hand out shares like candy there. Interesting. And you're doing that in addition to running your fund. Larry, you're really busy. Let's see, up 1.87% for the day. Brian says, I get it spelt wrong all the time. Makes me feel like a professor when you call me brain. There we go. Actually, when I was a kid, there used to be a book series called The Great Brain. I remember those. They used to read them to us in elementary school. But yeah, that was always fun. Rory says, dark keyboard, don't have the light on. Yep, that's what happens. I actually have a lamp that shines directly down on my keyboard, so that way there I don't have to worry about it. Paul says, Larry up 1.9% on the day. Blocks dragging me down at negative 6.4%. And act as weed was a big winner for the day. Oh, boy. Yeah. What can you say? Hopefully, let's just go back to Weed MD. Or, well, maybe not even Weed MD, but hopefully any of you who have been holding weed bags forever, maybe today, I don't know if it was enough to get you in the green, but maybe today at least you saw a little bit of movement to the upside for a change. Larry says, Paul, will you hand over your gains for America? And Brian, I'm down 24% on blocks. It's just a small holdings from dividend spending. It's up 8 cents after hours or 0.42%. Rory, just need Betty Ross to wave the stars and stripes along the U.S.-Canada border. Amrit says, IVN is sitting just under $14. That looks like an interesting swing opportunity. I actually have a current swing going on with IVN. It's, yeah, I mean, I like my entry point is not as good as where it's at right now. So, you know, I did think today about adding a little more to that just to sort of average down a bit. But IVN is, I will say this, if you're swinging IVM, you gotta be patient because they have a lot of volatility in both directions. So usually it's a matter of just hold on, you'll get there eventually, depending on where your entry point is. Rory says, geez, it's flipping cold out, minus 29. Holy banana bread. I don't even know what the temperature is right now here. Believe it or not, I don't know. Now I want to know. Yeah, I know it's been really cold. We had snow. It probably helps if I actually go to news. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. It's a balmy minus 13 wind chill. So that's not too shabby. Oh, I'll pull it up so you can see. There, -7, wind chill minus 13 in there. So yeah. Oh well, what can I say? No, I should go big screen. If we're not using the screen, I should be big screen. Cowboy says, HBTE is a minus 28% story. Will be out as soon as it clears my recovery of input. Okay, well, it depends on what you're using it for. I still like the income on it, and I still have good confidence in it. Like, for me, HBTE goes down. I'm just adding more. I'm just adding more at this point in time. And let's see here. CNR only down 0.04%. Makes me want to keep looking elsewhere. Okay. If I buy CNR, everyone should load the boat on it. Load a rail hopper car full of shares. Scott says, I was going to keep my profit off of First Mining, but I saw CNQ hit 44.96. Well, nice. And let's see, covered hopper or you'll be a litter bug. All right, so all the hopper talk. Larry says, but the sound of printing money is so beautiful. Need a paper jam or run out of some ink. Yeah, it'd be funny, like the U.S. Fed runs out of ink and only half the bills get printed. That would be kind of funny. Vic says, TELUS dropped ex-dividend day, but it looks like it's staying down. Yeah, that can happen. That can sometimes happen. I mean, some companies take a little while to recover from ex-dividend day. That's why if I'm doing, there's a thing called a dividend capture strategy. So basically with that, you're jumping into a stock just before ex-dividend day, grabbing the dividends, and then you're moving out and moving to your next company. However, you kind of got to let that company recover. So that's one of those factors when you're looking for a company for dividend capture. You want to make sure it's a company that has a history of recovering fast after ex-dividend day. However, and this is a thing to keep in mind, obviously, if the economy isn't doing great, sometimes that can it can take a little bit longer than you anticipate. Your thoughts on TY instead of TELUS? TY. All right, let's pull up TY. I've not looked at TY. Oh, there's the. We can close that now. All right. All right, here we go. So TY is Tricontinental Corporation. Is this the TY you're asking about? Because I have never looked. I'll tell you right now. I've never looked at Tricontinental before, but oh boy, you picked an interesting one. Look at this. That's a bit of a drop. Makes me wonder here. Let me just see here. I'm going to remove Dolly because I think I'm close to my limit. Let's put in TY here. That almost looks like an earnings drop. It sort of looks like an earnings drop. And let's see here. TY. No, it's not. We got ex-dividend day in here. So, yeah, this is interesting. It's a dividend story. And let's just see if there's anything else going on here. Nope, just their fourth quarter. Well, also quarterly, that tends to be a bigger dividend, so you will get a bigger drop. But yeah, that's quite the drop. That is quite the drop for sure. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't really know a lot about Tricontinental. Like, first of all, what the heck do they do? Let's see. A closed-end management company. Okay. That's interesting. Interesting. So they invest in other assets and securities. Okay. All right. Interesting. So them instead of TELUS. I have a feeling that I'm looking at something that you're not asking, Cowboy. Because, yeah, I mean, this is like, and this isn't even a big dividend on this one, 3.10%. So I don't know. I don't like the size of that drop, even though it is. Well, keep in mind too, the market went down too at the same time, so that might have added to that drop. But I still have a feeling I'm looking at the wrong thing. I have a feeling I'm looking at the wrong thing, Cowboy. I really do. All right. Let me know if I'm looking at the wrong thing. And we'll get back to that question. Andrew says, I went into a Starbucks with a priest. Wait a minute. Okay, our orders combined totaled 666. He looked at me and said order something else quick. That's hilarious. When you first said I went into Starbucks with a priest, I was thinking of a priest and Andrew and a rabbi went into a Starbucks. I was thinking something like that, one of those type of jokes. But what can I say? Pinky in the brain. Samson night shift Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6:45 p.m. to 6:45 a.m. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. So no issue at all. Okay. All right. If you can do it, why not? Do not buy 3x or 2x leverage ETFs. They reset each morning. They are never 3x due to fees. Yeah, and that's the thing. The reset can really do some really funky math to your even though technically it looks like you should be going up. Sometimes you can actually still go down a little bit because of that reset. They gap something fierce. Let's see, QQQ, thoughts on Trade Desk. Trade Desk. The show? Because, or I don't know, is there a thing called Trade Desk? I really don't know, Vic. Maybe that's a YouTube channel for all. When I hear Trade Desk, I almost think of, no, I don't think it's BNN. For some reason, my mind goes to CNN, but I'm not sure. Clarify. My God, I'm asking everyone to clarify everything now. But yeah, clarify Trade Desk. I don't want to ramble because until I know exactly what I'm rambling about. Cowboy, half printed bill will have value. What are your thoughts on buying oil and gas stocks at these oil levels? Do you believe companies will have a hard time in the short term? I don't think the pain is completely over yet for oil. But with that being said, I do feel like 2026 will be a better year for oil than 2025. And, and I mentioned you guys earlier as well, I'm going to be doing a video coming up probably in this coming week on my 5 picks. I picked 5 stocks that I thought would do well in 2025 back in January. One of them that didn't do well, I'll tell you, was related to energy because energy absolutely didn't do what I was anticipating it to do this year. It had a bad year, and that certainly hurt for sure. Brian, hopefully the U.S. tariffs ink for their money printer. Good day, everybody, says Gursky. Welcome. TELUS ETF, I think. Purpose. Oh, interesting. All right, then that's what we should be looking for. Let's see if I can find it, first of all. All right, let's try this. TY. I'm going to put in purpose here as well. Purpose. Nope. All right, we might have to. Let's Google it. Purpose TD ETF. Let's see what we got here. Tesla, Purpose TD shares yield. Oh, TDY. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. Let's pull them up here. TDY, Purpose Investments right here. Oh, look at that. They, well, on this one here, on TCM, but normally I usually go with this one. All right, let's take a gander here. Well, this one may not be. Yeah, here it is. They haven't been out very much, but yeah, what this is going to be doing is obviously they're going to be playing with some of that volatility that comes around TELUS. I mean, TELUS is pretty good. This is one that I probably want to get a bit of history. We don't have a much history, but right now it's all been up. And the telecoms have actually done pretty good in the last month. So this kind of makes sense. I want to see how something like TDY, how it behaves when the telecoms come down. But keep in mind, and I don't know if we got the information here. We don't. Let's actually just go to their page, because right now I've got no information on my stuff. I'm going to pull up here, Purpose Investments. All right, here we go. So the yield shares ETF. All right, so we're looking at, what's there, 9 cents. Okay, so 9 cents has been their distribution on it. Once again, I still don't really have a lot of information to go on, to be honest, but you are going to make more money, obviously. If your focus is towards income, you're going to get that. But the one danger, and it's not a big danger, of this ETF is that you'll lose some of that upside because of the covered calls. However, with that being said, I do think the telecoms are going to have a better 2026, but I don't think it's going to be anything explosive. I think it's going to be more or less a slow crawl to the upside, and that actually is not bad for a covered call. So would I choose this over TELUS? Yeah, if those were my only choices to get TELUS exposure, I would prefer to have sort of like the HHIS, and I don't think Purpose yet has one that has all of them in it. I could be wrong. I should check. They should actually do that. They really should if they haven't yet. That's what I would like to see. I'd rather see it in a bigger basket. Yeah, for sure. All right, Gursky says, I think I'm going crazy. I bought 25 more Tesla. Keep the DCA down. Okay, fair enough. I mean, Tesla's been doing fantastic, guys. I mean, well, heck, let's actually go to Tesla. We will, whoops, how did that? Normally that's on the other side of it. There we go. I got it. I have it now. Let's go TSLA. And I'll just pull up the US one here, if I can find it. I'm looking here and I see here's everything but the actual US one. Oh no, here it is. It's right down here at the bottom. But all right, let's just take a look. First of all, let's look at their last month, and you can see right here in that last month, they have been kind of moving to the upside. I'm going to back out to the year, and beginning of the year, they were having a rough time. This here was all back in the time when Elon was running around saluting people in interesting ways and running Doge, or not running Doge, or whatever he was doing with Doge. But then, he kind of left the government, and now things have been moving in the right direction since then. So, this whole kind of mess, he kind of undid that for now. But that's the one danger of Tesla, is all Elon has to do is come front and center again and do a bunch of stupid things. And that can hurt them. It can hurt them a little bit, but they always bounce back. And for some investors, including myself, for me, when I trade, like I do a lot of trading on Tesla, just because there is so much of the volatility in here, and it's so easy to trade. Right now, as I mentioned earlier to Paul, I'm looking for a new entry point. I'm looking for a new entry point, but it keeps going up. So I'm like, okay, well, hopefully it goes down on Monday so I can get back in for another swing, because Tesla is one of those ones where I consistently make profits, and I love that. I love that. Don't change Tesla. All right, and ooh, there we go. A little brain emoticon. Love it. Pinky in the brain. Amrit says, I don't want to spark MSTE, but looks like it's kind of stabilized for now, but down 51%. Oh boy. Rory says, I forbid anyone to buy TELUS. Okay. To you instead of TELUS. There's another option. Nutrien was up almost 3%. What companies are in the heat map for process industrials? Let's take a look. Let's take a look in their... Okay. Oh, was I just showing the screen again with it not being up? Oh boy. Yeah, we were looking at Tesla. I think. Oh yeah. I can't believe I did that. I did it again. But I'm 4 out of 5 this week on the bell, so we'll go with that. We'll go with that for now. All right. So yeah, here is. Can I bring up the whole thing? Yeah. So okay. So we got a few different things in here. We got Nutrien. We got CCLA or CCL. There's a few different things in here. Like, unfortunately, they're stupid thing. Normally I can pull these up and I can see exactly what they are. Some of them I'm a little bit less familiar with, but oh, look at that. There's weed. Weed's in there, up 52.87%. That's hilarious. I want to be able to pull these. I want to be able to pull those up again. Maybe I will still do a reboot of my system over the weekend just to see if I can get this to work, because this annoys me that I can't pull that up. But yeah, so you got a few different companies in there: MX, Cura, CEU, Neo, Vero, RSI. So Roger Sugar, good old Roger Sugar. CL, is that another? It's up, a couple of these that are up really high, like CL, I'm thinking they've got to be weed related. Up 87.62. Let's find out. CL. That has got to be, nope, that's US. Where's Canada CL? It's not showing up there, so I don't even know what that is. Okay. All right, fair enough. TRUL. Let's try that one. That's another one that's got a crazy TRUL. Yeah, look at this. True Leave Cannabis. So yeah, True Leave Cannabis up 13.60. There we go. And I'll pull it up so if you want to see the jump. Here it is. So yeah, that's what's been happening to cannabis today. I'll tell you, if I had known there would be some big cannabis news, this would have been a great swing trade. Can you imagine if you bought 1,000 shares at like $8 and all of a sudden it's worth 13? That'd be a pretty good swing trade. Although, once again, and this is kind of where I mentioned volume, and do I actually have a volume on these guys here? Oh, actually, look, the volume is really good. Their volume today was at 1.55, basically 1.56 million. So that's a pretty strong volume, but that might be just because of the news. People buying it like crazy, thinking that this is going to explode into something bigger. I hope it does for those people who are in it, but I'm a little more hesitant. Gursky said, I also bought 8 bred heifers today as well. I'm pretty sure that those are cows. I think those are cows. I think. Larry says, I'm not paying myself for 3 more years from my company, so got to get the money from somewhere. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Anchor said, I bought another 1K at TELUS the other day at 1840 to average cost down on what I already had. I wish I'd waited until today. That makes sense. Kelly, is Ring a better choice than individual telecoms? So Ring, that's actually, I believe it's fairly new. Is it Hamilton? No, it's Global X. There we go. I love it when they get something like this for telecoms. Ring is the perfect ticker. Yeah, I like, and I'm gonna. They haven't been out that long, so actually, oh, this one apparently has. Well, then I know. I think Hamilton came out with a telecom one earlier because this has been. I was thinking that this was a different one than this, but nonetheless, this one here has a yield, pretty nice looking yield of 8%. So that's not too shabby right there. Yeah, I like this. Now I don't know, and let's find out. Let's find out here. I don't know if this one uses covered calls. Let's just see. Ring ETF, Global X. All right, and this is part of my whole. I've been very bearish on that whole sector for a while, but let's see here. Global X. All right, well, let's just go into Global X. We can find it from there. Our ETFs. All right, we're looking for Ring. We're looking for Ring. Overview. Cash, HB. All right, I'm not seeing anything. Let's just type it in. RING. Hello. Where is, oh, there it is. Yeah, so it just says an equal weight. Normally they'll put cover calls in the title if it is there. I didn't think that they were, but when I saw that yield, I was like, wait, that's a little higher than I was thinking. But it might be because they're down, because look at this. Their normal yield is about 6.12%. Let's see. Yeah, I am not seeing, yeah, they're not using any kind of, it's just a straight up. Yeah, it's a straight up. In other words, their management fee should be pretty small. Right now it's 0. Okay. Until the end of the year. Then it's going up to 0.25%. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something a little more safer, this is going to be it for sure. Because if one of them does decide to tank, the other two can then sort of help even things out. But I still think it will be a better year for telecommunications. But this is a safer option for sure. Now, here's a question I have. What are they holding? Let's see here. Let's go to their holdings. So obviously, they got the big three. Just the big three. That's it. So you got, and pretty much an equal weighting. So 30, 34, 34.97. Now, what happens in an equal weighting is they will balance it every so often and bring it back to 33, 33, 33. I don't know if they do it quarterly with this one or semi-annually, but you can tell since the last time they have balanced it, Bell actually did the best because you can see their weight's a little bit higher. So just a little way that you can kind of gauge how something is doing in an equal weighted ETF. But yeah, if I wanted growth, so dividend growth exposure to them, I would look at something like this for sure, for sure. You know, or I might even look at a ETF that holds the utility, the telecoms in addition to some other sectors at the same time. But yeah, I would certainly do that. Rory says, yeah, it's ex-dividend day, +7 and overcast. Holy banana bread. That's pretty crazy. Uh-oh, I see something here. I see something. Let's see here. Meowie Kitchen has gifted a Mountain Finance membership. So Meowie is no longer a cat, but is a goat. A goat in the stall there with Mary and Brian. So there we go. We got 3 of you in there. So that puts us 1 away from a Friday show. A Monday show. Today is Friday. All right. Now, here's the fun part, finding where I was at. And, oh, wait a minute. I'm, guys. Uh-oh. I missed this one. So Paul dropped a super sticker of $1 earlier. So yeah, Paul gets Paul gets a goat, gets a goat. So we are there. We do have a Monday show. However, in addition, we also have a gifted membership coming in from Tom. So we've run out of goats. I could recycle the goats, or Tom can be a cool beaver with a sword. There we go. I like it. So we will be back on Monday. Monday show is now officially on the schedule. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, oh boy. Oh, I'm really close here. All right. I think I found where I was at. All right. Who has the oldest printer? No money printer. Got a Canon laser multifunction going since 2012. No, my printer is not that old. I lose. I don't even know what type of printer it is. I think it's an HP. I think it's an HP printer. It's about 3 years old. 3 years old. Brian says, I still have a box of tractor paper from my dot matrix printer, but no printer left. Oh yeah, I remember. Those are the ones that you got to pull off the side. That's hilarious. ty.ne looking at the wrong exchange. ty.ne. Well, no, we were looking at it was a TDY, I think. But let me take a look. I thought, because yeah, we kind of went over to TDY, but let's take a look at this. Let's try this. ty.ne. No, I got nothing. I got nothing on that one. But we had TDY, which was the purpose one, because that's what he had said it was. ty.to, a purpose TELUS ETF, and we not see the screen you were talking about. Oh, that was when we were looking at. Oh, I see. I'm behind. I'm behind. That's why. So yeah, no, I looked it up. It was TDY. It was TDY for that purpose one. So I think we were just missing the D. Where is this Samson place? I believe it's in Texas. Tom says, if you were to try dividend capture, what would be the best way to find the ex-dividend dates? Just look at all the company websites. It would be good to get a stream of one to the other. There was a website, and holy cow, I haven't used it in a while because I haven't really done a lot of dividend capture. But there was a website where you could search by ex-dividend date. Oh, dear gosh. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'll have to look for it, Tom, see if I can find it. But there was a website I used to use that would tell me I could basically do a search on dates, and I could pull up ex-dividend dates. That way there I could sort of take a look at it. All right, Trade Desk TTY. Or TTD. Trade Desk TT. That's got to be a website. Let's take a look. I'm going to Google this. All right, Trade Desk, TDD. There we go. Oh, here we go. Let's see. The Trade Desk, built for long, omni-channel platform, helps create sustainable long-term growth. Okay. Obviously I don't know a lot about the Trade Desk, but yeah, interesting. What do they do? Oh, there we go. So, okay, self-service cloud-based platform, a demand-side platform or DSP that helps advertising agencies buy digital ads. All right, I don't know if this is the one that you're thinking about, but I don't know anything about it. I'll just, yeah, TDD is USA. I thought it was US. That's why I was thinking, that's why I kept thinking CNN, but yeah, so I don't know a lot about it. Yeah, oh, I know. Buy IBIT at close, sell IBIT at next open since January 2024, up 222%. That's actually pretty good. There will be new ETF called Knight, NGHT, from X funds that will be doing this. Oh, that's interesting. Would that be called day trading? Well, it depends, right? Here's the thing. If you invest in an ETF and that ETF day trades, so for example, Daymax is doing, the 0 day to expiry trades. So the options in there, that is a form of day trading, but you're not day trading. by holding, Daymax or SMAX or QMax. You're not day trading, they are. So it would not be classified as day trading for you if, this NGHT is doing it and you're just holding NGHT. So you're fine in that case. CNCP will be big losers with Nutrien going to Washington State instead of Roberts Bank. Way to go, EBY. Yeah, what can I say? Since clicking on them doesn't work, have you tried right click and open in a new tab? I did. Actually, when I right click, well, I'll show you. Let me show you. If I come in here and we'll just go, here's Nutrien. If I right click, all I get is how I can add it to a watch list. Oh, wait a minute. Open. Oh, can I just do that? Oh, no, it takes me to the regular chart. But okay. Let me just, you might be onto something. Let's see overview. If I click on the overview. All right. Yeah, this kind of works. Actually, I kind of like this better than what the other one does. So yeah, I can still pull up the chart. Okay, that might be, yeah, that's an option. That is an option. So now, if I want to know what some of these are, so MX, well, I've heard of MX, but something I haven't heard of. Let's see here. MATR, I'm not sure what that is. Let's just do that. Open it up. MATTR Corp. Okay. It brings it up for me. And I wonder here, if I pull my thing back, I can get a little bit more information on the side on on MATTR Corp. Okay. Interest. Yeah, that works. All right, that works. Good call, Scott. Good call. I like it. See, that's what happens. When all of our heads come together, we come up with some pretty good ideas. HHIC has all the Canadian ones. That's right, it does. I think it also does have TELUS. Yeah, I think it has TELUS. I think it might be just TELUS and Bell. I don't know if it has Rogers. I'm trying. I have to remember. I have to take a look again. Harvest. It's Friday. Enjoy. I know. I love Friday. Vic says, Paul, heard about round-the-clock BTC ETF trading, but how does it work? Yep, Candace, eat beef. Yeah, beef. Oh boy, guys, beef is actually, if you like the steak, you're gonna pay more for the steak. So one of the things I was looking at is that they're expecting the price of beef to be going higher and higher through 2026. A lot of it is that there's been like a lot of farmers have they've had a bad year, and some of the crop have died, and the overall number of beef cattle are down, and as a result, you got low supply, high demand. That means prices are going up on beef. So, if you can afford steak now, well, you might want to have some before it becomes too outside of your comfort zone to pay. All right. Andrew says, I've been bearish on telecom since I compared them to other stocks over a long time period. Telecoms have done well over long time periods, and telecoms are fine. Like they all have really deep moats. I mean, as much as we complain about the telecoms, they are blue chip, all three of them. They're definitely blue chip. They know how to make money. They're not going anywhere for sure. Let's see, what is GTII and Trulip? Up 50%. And I think they're both, well, the Trulip is, that's a weed stock. So it's weed. It's weed. Apparently, when you play with weeds, you get hot. Okay, I'll leave that alone. Why is TELUS continuing to go down? Even the company said it gives pause to the rise of the dividend. Yeah, I know. One of the big things with the telecoms, and let's just be a little bit fair. I mean, the rollout of 5G, it was very expensive. They had to update a lot of infrastructure as a result. So that was a lot of cash. And, they did the cities, they did all of the urban first, but last year was mostly rural. So a lot of that was coming out of course, their regular cash flow. So now their cash flows are getting back to normal as that is now complete. So that is one of the reasons that I think 2026 is going to be better for them for sure. So I want to see. Also, they're starting to diversify too. So both TELUS and Bell, they're starting. Well, they're diversifying into AI. They're data centers, things like that. I think that's gonna be big for them. Rogers is kind of doubling down on their sports side, so we'll have to see how that goes for sure. Paul also. Let's see. I'll load up in TELUS at $10. I can't believe I missed Paul's super sticker. Paul, speaking of the Paul, but what happened with cannabis today to make them go up? Oh, Donald Trump. Donald Trump happened. He basically said that they are looking to basically change the classification of marijuana in the United States. So basically, they're loosening up the regulations. They're making it. I don't want to say. I don't want to say that they're decriminalizing it completely, but it's looking like it's moving in that direction on a federal level, and that's one of the reasons that people are sort of piling in, because they're like, okay, if all of a sudden, if it looks like marijuana is going to become, statewide, that could be a big inflow of money. Now, mind you, I could see him legalizing marijuana and then putting tariffs on Canadian marijuana. I could see him doing that. So you never know how that's going to turn out. Let's see. Do you have any thoughts on CI Energy Gains coverage call? CI Energy Gains. Oh, I'm not sure. Like coverage call. I'm not 100% sure what you're asking, but let me take a look here and see if I can. CI Energy Giants covered call ETF. All right, here we go. So here's the CI. All right, now. Oh, okay, coverage call was covered call. Okay, understood. All right, I was just trying to make sure I fully got what you were looking at. All right, so this one here, and this is actually an interesting one, guys. I will say this because one thing that makes this interesting is most covered call ETFs pay monthly. This one does not. It is a quarterly payer, and you'll see here they've got a yield of about 7.409%, and pull up their 1 year. Their 1 year actually doesn't look that bad, considering the fact that energy struggled the first part of the year, had a little bit better towards the end. But this is designed. It is designed for income. You're going to get a little bit of growth on it. I think they'll be fine if the market turns around. This is one of these companies. So the CI is a company that I don't look at them that much, only because I just don't find. I don't know. They're just not as popular. I'll go with that. I've got nothing against them though. Absolutely. Like they've been in the mix the whole way. They just I don't know what it is. They just don't seem to resonate with me completely. But not to say I shouldn't take a second look for sure. Let's see. There we go. Texas. See, that's odd because ty.ne comes up on Yahoo Finance. Really? That's weird. Well, let's take a look. All right. Because yeah, we ended up like on here. We ended up with TDY. So we up here with TDY, right here, TDY, and this one here is, yeah, this one here. We went with this version right here. So here's TDY on the Purpose, and that was kind of what Purpose said their ticker was. But now on Yahoo, and Yahoo should be here. Let's take a look. ty.ne. All right, we'll pull it up. Okay, yeah, all right. And it brings it up here. Very interesting. Yeah, definitely very interesting. And I'm looking here and seeing. Now, this might just be because it's so new. It might be because it's so new. That's why we're getting some different things. I can't tell you why. Now, here, let me take a look. I'm kind of curious. Let's just do TDY over here as well. Yeah, and we get the TDY.ne over here as well. Interesting. So unless they've got a couple, maybe they have a couple versions. Now this one here, and I notice the pricing is a little bit different on these too. So, but nonetheless, whichever one it is, kind of that whole thing. Like I said, I think if you're looking for some income, a little tiny bit of growth, I think, you know, it's not a bad, I don't think it's a bad play. I don't think it's a bad play. I'll leave it at that. Let's see here. TU may equal TY. Letters are beside each other on the keyboard, and also TU autocorrects to TY. Okay, all right. Dividendhistory.org. Oh, is that one that can you search? Like, will that show you all of the ex-dividend dates? It's definitely an interesting thing. And I also look at it this way. When if I was considering doing any dividend capture right now, I would very much be playing with stocks that I've already dealt with, or ETFs that I've already dealt with. And for that simple reason, I'm going to kind of have a general idea and general sense of them anyway. But dividend history. This one sounds, I don't know if this is the one. I thought it was called, let me just see, ex-dividend date finder. Let's just go with that. I thought it was something like this. Dividend date tracker, and that's on Snowball Analytics. Dividend calendar, dividend tracker on Seeking Alpha. Best ex-dividend date search tool. I don't know if that was it. I do not know. This, actually, this looks like the one I was using. It looks like, but I haven't used it in a long time. But now this one here looks to be looking at US. I thought there was one similar to this for Canada where I could just search. I'll have to look and see if I can find something that's functional that works really well. Because I know even the one I was using, every so often I found it very laggy. All right, Larry, actually, before we get to Larry, you did say dividendhistory.org. Let's just take a quick look at that one as well. Dividendhistory.org. Here we go. Okay, welcome to Dividend History. Search by symbol or company. All right, very interesting. Best monthly, best top. Latest dividend additions. Interest. I have an idea. This may not work, guys. This may not work, but let's try it. Let's go to TradingView. All right, I'm kind of curious here. We're going to go into the superchart screeners. Let's do it with ETFs. We'll do it with ETFs just for the heck of it. All right, expense ratio, dividend treatment, dividend frequency. All right, I just wonder if they have any kind of a function in here under dividends. Let's see, indicated, individual. No, they don't. Just frequency. All right, I thought it was worth checking. I thought, because that would make it really easy if we could search in here. Oh boy. Let's see, everyone is here. Google, Apple, Applied Materials, Tokyo, Electron, Tesla, TikTok, Facebook, Indeed, and Dell. Likely. Yep. Yeah, I think you've got everything. That's not too shabby though. Amrit. Well, also taxes. Texas has much better taxes. Like a lot of Silicon Valley have, there's been parts of Silicon Valley that have left and have moved to Texas. Well, Tesla did it. All right, Amrat says, I like Stock Events app for tracking the dividend X dates and amounts. Also, nice to get dates and just looks nice. Plus, it's free. I'll put my link in for referral below. You can try to put your link in, but just don't put the actual dot. Type in a dot, like a DOT, if you're putting your link in, or throw it on the Discord, either or. All right, thanks, Valve Man. Let's see, you get more spots if you sign up through referral. Oh, that's cool. I have Stock Events, thanks. Let's see, a lot of Elon stuff is here. They're starting construction on the Tesla houses shortly. Oh, is that town? Like, I think they were going to build a town for Tesla. All right, IT support. I'm on canned tuna diet for a while since all my money went on HHIS. Oh, no. Look at Bitcoin 1 week chart and tell me there isn't manipulation. All right, all right, all right. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin. Here we are. All right, and you want to look at the 1 week chart. All right, here we go. Here's the 1 week chart. Let's pull it down. Let's pull it down. All right, here we go. Okay, okay. So yeah, I mean, I still I don't know. And I know what you're getting at. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, like right now like this line has been pretty good, pretty solid. And we're bouncing off of it. That's kind of what I would have expected. I don't know if it proves. I don't know if it proves anything. I'm just, the problem is it's just so, the amount of money that you would need to be throwing around, it's a lot of money to be manipulating. I think Bitcoin is a lot harder to manipulate now than even, heck, even than 5 years ago. So I have a hard time. I have a hard time. And I know some people subscribe to it, and that's fine. That's fine. I just don't feel like it's been manipulated. But hey, change my mind. I need to get one of them tables, right? Let's see. The rollout of fiber cost a lot too. Plus, TELUS let employees retire early and voluntarily leave and get 15 months of pay. Yeah, that certainly adds up. I mean, all of those costs for things like that, absolutely. All right. Cowboy says, in a non-registered account, would you hold CNQ or CNQE for the best tax-effective play? Well, here's the thing. I mean, these both have completely different purposes. So, if you're holding CNQ, straight up, I mean, yeah, the dividends in it are Canadian eligible, so you got that. That's not bad. I mean, you're getting you're paying a smaller rate on those. CNQE, you will still have like a portion of the distribution you're getting from CNQE will be those dividends. So you're getting the same thing, but then you are also going to get some return of capital, some capital gains in there as well. And and those are pretty tax efficient. So the way I would look at it this way is, yes, if you're holding CNQ, overall, you're paying less tax. And you're picking up full upside. So there is that as well. But if you're looking for the income, CNQE is going to win there. But yeah, tax efficiency wise, CNQ will be slightly more efficient than CNQE, because you take CNQE, even though you're not paying tax on the return of capital, until you sell it, you are paying 50% on the portion of that distribution which is coming from capital gains. So you will pay a little more with CNQE than you would with CNQ. But like I said, I think they're both pretty tax efficient. TDY looks like it's TD, not T. Oh, that changes everything. Have I been looking? Maybe I've been looking at the wrong company here. So yeah, right. This is TD. You're right. You are 100% right. All right. That's why we got there. Scott, you're a genius today. You might be an evil genius, but you're a genius. Yeah. So we've been looking at TD. Yeah. Okay. Understandable. So the other one, just T. Why am I not getting it at all in TMX? It's probably because it's so new. It's so new from the looks of things. I know on Yahoo. Let's go back to Yahoo here. All right. Let's go to, once again, we'll go to TY. All right. TY.NE. All right. Here we go. And this is okay. Yeah. There we go. There we go. And I'm just taking a look here, and I'm trying to see. Very, very interesting. Let me try something. I'm going to go to the one. Oh, no, it's been around longer than I thought. Okay. Let's take a look here. Yeah, this has been around. I'll pull up the year to date. Interesting. Down 23.34%. 1 year, 5 year. Oh, well, this is really, really weird. Yeah. Well, I think part of it, though, is, yeah, you know what it is? It's funny. I pull the 5-year and it looks like it goes the whole way, but it doesn't actually. It stops. So this is where it started. Here we are. So yeah, back in August 18th, it looks like that's when it began. All right. And I was thinking that it wasn't around that long, but yeah, it should be. It should be in TMX. There's no reason for it not to be. That's weird. But yeah, since it's come out, it has. Yeah, it's gone down. It's gone down quite a bit. I mean, because it launched here at $10.02, and now you're sitting with $7.18. Mind you, you got your dividends, but nonetheless, I think this will turn around as we do get some recovery. But yeah, holy banana bread. That's what I was like, what's going on here? Yeah. That's probably my fault. I think I probably, when I was looking up the purpose to get the ticker, I think I accidentally clicked on TD and didn't realize. Oh boy, yep. All right, Scott says you can see ex-dividend on Yahoo, SLDO dividend stock channel. Okay, there we go. There's a couple of options. Higher highs. I like that. TY I'm talking about is a purpose TELUS single ETF pays 14 a month. Yeah, when we figured it out. Thanks to Scott. Scott pulled it all together. Paul says, I guess the Bitcoin 1 week was actually 7 days. So 1 day chart with showing 7 days. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. And with TELUS, who knew you could retire early at 55 and get 15 months of pay after 35 years? That would be fantastic. As long as, like, if you have I don't know what the pension system is at TELUS, but if you could retire at 55, have a pension, and get paid out 15 months of pay, that would be kind of cool. More simple chart showing 1 week with probably 1 hour bars. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I can feel a sneeze. It's not coming, but I can feel it. All right. Guys, oh my God. I'm just looking. We've been at this for 1 hour, 42 minutes. I'm going to call it here. But Paul, do me a favor. Share that with me over on Discord, and we'll bring it up and we'll take a look at it. And I'll do a little more research for you. But I have a hard time thinking that we've got manipulation. I'm not saying that we don't. I just have a hard time believing it. So, show me the chart that you want me to see. And that way there we can look at it. So that way there we're looking at the same thing. Because I have a feeling we're not looking at the same thing. What can I say? Scott says, I got 18 months. Not TELUS, though. Perfect. All right. So, guys, we're going to be back here. We'll be back here on Sunday for this week. But we will also be back here on Monday. We will do another market close and kick off another week. Let's see what this new week has to store for us. All right. Until then, enjoy your evenings, enjoy your weekends, and I will see you guys Sunday.